What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today. And in this video, we are doing the 10th installment of Retro Reviews. Today, we're going to be taking a look at my Gemini Jets 1 to 400 scale Delta Airlines McDonnell Douglas MD-88 in the current livery. Going back to our Gemini Jets 1 to 400 retro reviews after taking a bit of a deviation in the previous installment with the Shabak 1 to 600 Delta model that I took a look at. Feel free to go check out that retro review. That was kind of a unique one to do since I haven't really covered a 1 to 600 scale model, and I've been eager to do it for a while, but I just never got around to doing it until recently. So, as we head back to our traditional retro reviews with the Gemini 1 to 400 scale models, we've got a pretty interesting subject here with the Delta MD-88, which I have featured on this channel previously. So I picked up this model on Christmas Day of 2018, and it was featured in the first ever massive unboxing that I did. Feel free to go check that out. I actually did it as a live stream back when I thought that was cool, and before YouTube implemented that feature, or that limitation rather, where you had to have a certain amount of subscribers. I think it's 1,000 subscribers before you could live stream on mobile devices, which I think is a stupid requirement, but that's a story for another time. Anyways, the model itself was fantastic, and I'm very happy that I have this, but kind of sad I didn't get to use this in an airport update. I think only once, actually, it was that I got to use it before Delta sadly retired this type in 2020. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box itself before we go ahead and look at the model. So this is your standard Gemini Jets box, but a bit different because this was released during Gemini's 20th anniversary as indicated by this insignia on the top left of the box. Made for collectors, my collectors. Got an image of the plane and then your Delta widget right there, and then the Delta logo and McDonnell Douglas MD-88 down there. 1 to 400 scale die-cast model aircraft. Open it up, there's your standard plastic cradle, and then of course the aircraft pamphlet, which you can pause to read as you wish. And then we'll flip it over to the back side, and as indicated, yes, this is a 2018 release, specifically released in the month of October, so a very spooky release indeed, but not really. Got your standard Israel to get stuff, so nothing really unusual here. There's your side of the box with the Gemini Jets logo, image of the plane, aircraft type, and the item number on this is GJDAL 1791, and then your other traditional Gemini Jets features all around the rest of the box. So let's go ahead and take a look at the model itself, and must say that I'm very happy about having two Delta MD-88s now, as I actually have a widget, but that's not with me right now. I actually have that up at my dorm room right now, just kind of as like a desk piece, if you will. So hopefully, just kind of a quick deviation before we do the review, I'm really hopeful that Gemini Jets will do additional Delta MD-88s. Preferably, I would want the Ron Allen and Delta Flot ones, because those two subjects have never been done at 1 to 400 scale before. And considering Gemini Jets has been on an MD-80 craze lately, having just released a TWA MD-80 in the final livery, I'm very confident that they're going to do one of those, of the Delta Flot and Ron Allen 88s, in the future. So starting off at the front, we've got our nose and the cockpit windows. You got the little strakes just above the nose landing gear, and then of course the nose landing gear underneath that. And I think there is some printed details on there. I could be wrong. Yeah, there is some printed details. Just go ahead and bring that closer into view. So you see a little fleet number right there, 9003. You got the L1 door and the Sky Team logo. And then, of course, the Delta titles, which looks like something got a little messed up there, but that's a very minor defect, so certainly not going to complain about that. Got the overwing exits, and then the American flag and registration above the window line. November 9003 Delta Echo's registration. I'll talk more about where this particular airframe is at in just a few minutes. And then you have your standard Delta tail on these MD-88s. Flip it over to the other side, which is basically going to be the same, but you do have a smaller R1 door over there. The Sky Team logo just ahead of the R1 door and behind the cockpit windows. And then there's your registration, American flag, as per usual, and also the fleet number printed just above the Delta widget and below the horizontal stabilizers. So there you see it with the 9003 printed on there. No exterior details, but you do have that beacon up there at the top along with another printed detail. You flip it underneath, yes, you do have that iconic Delta belly. They did paint these on some of the MD-88s before retirement, because they introduced a Delta belly around 2015, I think it was, they started appearing. And I think they're now pretty much across the entire fleet at this point. So all the Delta planes, that at least have gone through tech ops, have since been painted with the Delta belly underneath it. But of course, Stanhull kind of blocks out the E there, so it doesn't look all that pretty. Yeah. And then Gemini Jets logo right behind that, and all your other applicable details along with that blue belly. So overall, this is a very solid model. I definitely would recommend it if you are able to find it. As far as I know, this model is a bit hard to find now. All these old Delta models in general are really hard to find. They are very sought after as well, so only increases their value. Let's go ahead and take a look at this specific airframe and where it's been throughout its life. So this airframe was originally delivered as its registration as is represented here, November 9003 Delta Echo, on April 10th of 1992. Flew with Delta for nearly 30 years before it was retired in 2020, along with the rest of the Delta Mad Dog fleet because of the pandemic. They were supposed to be retired around, I think it was like 2021 or so, but it was accelerated. Actually, I think it was the end of the year, so correct me on that if I'm wrong. But somewhere around the end of 2020, early 2021, they were supposed to be retired, but COVID hit, and then they decided to accelerate the retirement and retire them in the summer. After that, it kind of sat around for a while, and then it was transferred over to USA Jet, a freighter carrier, in the summer of 2021. It was ferried in October of 2022 in order to get converted over to a freighter aircraft, and then it was re-registered to November 842 Uniform Sierra on February 2nd of 2023, and it is still flying with them today. And as I record this, it did a flight about a week ago now in Orlando, so I'm not really sure what it's doing, but good to see that this airframe is at least still airworthy, and hopefully it will continue flying for maybe another 10, 15 years or so before it needs to be scrapped. And of course, this aircraft is powered by the traditional Pratt & Whitney JT8D-219 engines. And that will do it for this retro review. So trying to bring back this series once again and hopefully provide a little more content during the time of college where everything is busy for me and I don't really have much time to do anything else. So hopefully these retro reviews are something that you guys do like, and I'll be sure to bring on more of my old models that I have in my collection. Maybe try to bring on some models that I have reviewed on the channel in the past, but I didn't really do an in-depth review on, whether it was because I didn't really have much knowledge back then, or I chose not to because the model was broken, as was kind of my rule back in the day, but I've since changed that now, where I will still do a proper review on a broken model during an unboxing video, if needed. So, with that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.